Toastmasters Sandeep Khode, Perseverance Training.
Perseverance.
Sorry.
Thank you, TMOD. Good evening, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
So I'm here to give my first speech. I hope I'm allowed to keep the notes with me. Okay, this is about me, what I do. My name is Sandeep Khode. I am an entrepreneur, as explained by TMOD. I run a company called Words Maya. I will not talk much about that. And this is my first speech of Icebreaker. Better I keep it here. Okay. So many of us have faced. So how many of you faced fears actually in your lives? How many of you have failed sometimes? Everyone. Like everyone here, I have failed many times. But what has helped me so far in my journey is perseverance. In my life, I've had a lot of challenges, like everyone else, and I've struggled throughout and got my way out of these challenges, and that's I could do that using perseverance and my grit. Initially, I was thinking it is my adamant. I was adamant to accept my failure, but later on, I realized it's my grit. Earlier, I used to say, how can I fail somewhere? How can I get rejected by someone? I used to get very angry at these things. But later on, I tried to overcome these fears, and then I could get my results. And I realized this is my perseverance and grit, and this is one of my best quality which I have. So I just explained 3 scenarios, and in between my story will also get covered. So first situation happened when I moved from 11th standard to 12th standard. So before moving to rural area of Nasik district, I studied in city area or urban area in Nasik city. Most of my schooling happened there only. I was the only kid I knew at that time who moved from urban area to rural area. Generally people go from otherwise, right? There were some situations which led me to do that. So when I went to 11th standard and when I gave my exam of 11th standard, most of my important subjects like physics, chemistry and mathematics, I barely passed those subjects actually, and most of non-important subjects were as expected below average. So I was struggling to pass 11th standard. Many of my students were in the same zone as of me. They were quitting 11th standard or science division, and they were going to some other courses. I got some suggestions like this, but I stayed there, and I could perform better in 12th. It's not as good as like being a state topper or anything like that, but I could become class topper in my 12th. After 12th, I did my engineering. After engineering, I scored GATE with 99 percentile. But even though by being in top 1% of India, I could not get IIT. The reason of my Purane Paap in BTech actually. And then when I was going for my MTech admissions in Patiala Thapar University. I was going alone. Because of same rain situation happened here today. My train got delayed almost by 1 day, 24 hours. And I reached on the evening of the admission day itself. So I could not go to the admission. Even though I was topper in their merit list, I was not getting admission. They rejected me. Very next day when I went there, they rejected me. They were not giving me admission. But I did not quit there. So I stayed there for 3 more days. I did not have extra money and no ATM at that time. I was having very small phone, which was having no balance or anything like that. So I stayed there and I could convince them to give me admission. So this way I could prove myself again. I have a grit. At that time I was adamant. I was very angry, and I was expressing very angry to them. The second situation, the third situation is what I am experiencing right now. I'm an entrepreneur. Before jumping into entrepreneurship, I have done 8 years of job in corporates like Siemens and Arisen. So when I decided to quit job and go into entrepreneurship, a lot of pushback happened from my family, friends. Even I was not sure about the success of this venture, but still I did quit my job and I started my own venture here. In my 3 or 4 years, I failed a lot of rejections, a lot of harsh words and everything. My parents have quit their farming. They are not earning anything. My wife is a homemaker, she is not earning any salary. So there are tons of reasons for me to quit this thing and go back to my salaried job, which I was earning very good there. But I am still doing this thing, and this is my grit basically. And somehow I'm doing good or bad, I don't know. Maybe world will tell me better about that. But I'm still here, and that is the reason I'm joining Toastmaster. I'm getting ready for my next big challenge. So here I'll be persevering more and learning more out of this experience. Over to you, Toastmaster.